Good afternoon. My name is Dean Mazzarella, Mayor for the City of Leominster, and thank you for watching. Happy you could join us. I hope you had a good day. And it's Friday. A lot of people woke up this morning, wasn't sure what day it was, but it's Friday. And so anyway, things are beginning to blossom and bloom, and the tulips are up. They're just ready to pop. We've got some of the flowering trees already showing beautiful displays. So lots of things to think about and lots of things that are positive. If you have any questions, you can put them on my Facebook page, and I'll get an answer to you if I could. So one of the issues last night, it came up last night, that somebody that watches these briefings had said they had gone to the hospital and apparently they had a doctor's referral to get tested, and apparently there was a glitch in the system, whatever. But anyway, this morning, Health Alliance is saying now you no longer need a doctor's note to get tested, and they're also staying open later now. So they are staying open 8 to 4 Monday to Friday, but 10 to 2 on weekends and Patriots Day, they'll be open. And so they are accepting, let me see if I can I go to that slide? I don't know if it's right there or not. Let's see, is that the one? Let me go to another one. I don't know if it's on there. There you go. So symptoms include fever of 100 degrees or more, a cough, new or worsening shortness of breath, loss or change in smell, confirm exposure to somebody that was tested positive that had symptoms. So if you fall into that category, you can go to Health Alliance this weekend 10 to 2, and then on Monday 10 to 2, and then back up on Monday from 8 to 4. And you do not need a doctor's referral, okay? So that's what's new. If you're going to Reliant, you need to contact them for testing. You have to be a Reliant customer. So I'll read that slide. That's pretty important. That's a drastic change from before when you needed to get a doctor's referral. Let's go back to, there it goes. The important phone numbers, even over the weekend. The most important one is 978-534-7500, extension 5055. That's the Emergency Management Operations Center. And that's an important number because we can answer calls from 8 in the morning until 5 at night. If it slows down, they've been leaving at 5 or 6. But if it stays busy, they'll stay to 8. But for the most part, it's been busy around 8 to 5, 8 to 6. So anyway, you can call that number. And if you need to reach me or anyone else, unless it's a 911 call, and then call 911. So 978-534-7500, extension 5055. Yes, it's Friday. Happy days. Lots of people are learning. You know, today we have this conversation today, keeping our social distance, but we have this conversation about how people are beginning to use City Hall online and beginning to pay bills and get information online, and it's been helpful. But there are still those situations where people can't get the information or can't pay online or whatever the situation might be, and you need to come to City Hall or one of the other city buildings. We're still open, right? The physical doors might not be open, but we are open, and we'll help you. We'll get your information. If we have to bring it to you, mail it to you, hand it to you in the parking lot, whatever's necessary. So please make good use of that. Here we go with some numbers. We're waiting for the updated numbers. Wendy will have them for us and send them over to us as soon as we can. But these are as of yesterday. But I will come back to the numbers when we get the updated ones. In fact, I hope I have my trusty pen here. But I will get you those numbers as soon as we can. But there's a look at yesterday's numbers. What do they mean? They mean that people are still testing positive. I don't know if they're if they have symptoms, or now they're getting to the people that have a few symptoms or none, but maybe were exposed, and so that their physician or somebody sent them to the hospital and said, we want this person tested because they were near somebody, they were exposed to somebody that tested positive. So the more testing, the better. We identify, we trace where that person was, who they came in contact with. We test those people, we get them into quarantine, and that's really how you get to the best of it. Some good news: a friend of mine's brother is a surgeon out, I believe, in New York, and has been on a ventilator. He's about 60, late 60s, been on a ventilator, and they were really worried. And, you know, this is how it hits home, right? I mean, this is somebody from the area whose brother-in-law is from, you know, living in another state, is a physician himself, a doctor, and he ends up in the hospital himself, very sick, in the very hospital that he practices. And, you know, to hear from a family that comes from not only one doctor, but two doctors, to hear them talk about how they couldn't get in to visit him the whole time that he's been there. His wife couldn't visit. His mother couldn't visit. Nobody could really visit. And so, you know, that feeling, and how he himself, how scared he was, himself being a doctor. Maybe he knew too much, right? And so anyway, that shows you the level of severity here all the way around. So we'll come back to those numbers when we get updated. Again, there's the testing sites. So we do a little, you know, popular situations. There's Leominster, and Amherst would be the lowest of any city our size, or even less, or a little more. Andover comes in 51, Dartmouth at 64, and Leominster at 83, and then it goes on up. So if you take the average of the whole state, it's around a little over 200. I'm sorry, 400, and we're down around 200 cases per 100,000. So that's just about that accurate number there, 83, if you're one of these people that are sort of looking at numbers. Again, my name is Dean Mazzarell. I really appreciate the feedback. You know, I was just going to come on and do these things occasionally to update you when we thought there was something really big to share with you. So we started on at a 9 o'clock meeting, and then we were shuffling around. Maybe it was 8 o'clock the next day, 9. Then we got on a regular pattern of 9 in the morning, and then 4 in the afternoon, if it didn't conflict with the president or the governor. But the feedback everywhere I've been, and all the feedback has been that people want us to continue on these updates. And I can't wait to get my hair cut. I noticed this morning. Can you guys show a little closer here? Can you show me a little? Do you guys have the ability to do that? No, me. Are you guys watching another channel back there? So watch this. Look, this is how you know it's getting bad. We're in week 5. I was supposed to get a haircut like 2 weeks ago. Look at my sideburns. Does one look like it's shorter than the other? What do you guys think back there? Does one look? All right, I'll do it again. Yeah, I'll put it at the bottom of that, and here's the bottom of that. Do they look the same? So I'm shaving this morning. And I really feel like shaving in the morning anymore. I'm tired of shaving. But anyway, I didn't want to look, you know, I want to look the part today. I want to look good. And I noticed that one sideburn is like this, and the other one's like that. So just in case you see it, notice it, I don't care. It's okay. And but yeah, did you notice that back there? Is it obvious? No? Well, it was to me. And I don't really pay attention to those kinds of things. So I may get out the shears this weekend. I got one of those gas hedge trimmers here, so I may get to that, or maybe it's time for the Flowbee. Anyway, thanks for watching. So the feedback's been good, so we'll continue. And then we've added another sort of a little bit of extra value in this process. So we're trying to help businesses. So this morning we're at Pasta Land. I think the feedback was good for Pasta Land. By all means, let us know. I have to itch my nose, but I'm going to I wash my hands after. I'm not going to touch anything else. I sanitize this after we leave, but I have an itchy nose. You okay back there? Oh, do it like that. All right. It doesn't give me the same effect. So anyway, it's driving me crazy. Yes, I'm going to take some scissors this weekend and just sort of lower one. But anyway, the feedback's been good, and businesses, we've got almost all the next week full, and part of the following week. We'll be going to Roderico's, Appleseed Temporary Service, Comiquito. We'll be going to, I think, going to the Gardener Spot. We're going next week to a bunch of places. And if anybody's watching in my office and can let me know where I'm going, let me know. But so if you'd like us to feature your business, you're still open and you're operating either online, or you're kind of doing the whole, I'll leave the product out for you. You could come by, leave me a check, or I'll give me a credit card, and I will leave the product out for you. We'll deliver those kinds of things. People are getting creative. So if that's the case, then by all means, we'll come out and visit you. So that's been working well. And then certainly this afternoon sessions, we have the ability to sort of expand out by simply being here on cable. And don't forget 95.1 is WLPZ, and they are broadcasting after this. It's about an hour. They record it, and they'll put it up, and then periodically during the day and night, they'll share this update with you. Go to AIS. Yeah, we'll go to AIS. We were just there the other day to do a quick photo op, thanking everybody at AIS for making the mask. Thank you. I have mine. Use the curtain. Use the curtain to wipe my nose. No. All right, so you people say you love Pastaland. So when you get on there, say you were watching one of our segments and you saw it. Because we're really trying to think of all kinds of ways that we can help local businesses survive. And, oh, the other thing is, I set my own Facebook page, and somehow or another, we're at 5,000. So when it's a personal Facebook page, I'm at 5,000. And I never thought I would reach it, but we're there, and we've been there. So people that are trying to, apparently try to watch here get upset at me saying, how come you didn't accept my friend request? So if you're Facebook and you know that sort of lingo, right, that sort of chat, and it means that I didn't like you. I didn't like it because I don't like you. No, not the case at all. So if you go to Leominster, if you go to City of Leominster Facebook page, all the same information. In fact, I don't know if Nikki broadcasts this and shares this, but you can go ahead and do that. But much of the same information that goes there, except for my little weird things like, last night, I thought I was being funny. So I posted a picture of a line, and I said, I think I'll go down and sleep in my car at Starbucks, so I'll be the first one there in the morning. And then I said, and then I'm going to go to DCU, and then I'm going to go, at lunchtime, I'm going to go to Chick-fil-A. And so I thought it was being funny because each one of those places usually has this like long line down the street. And I went by a Chick-fil-A the other day. They were literally down the street. They had cops directing traffic. So I thought I was being funny. And then people started saying, where's the Chick-fil-A in Leominster? I didn't know we had Chick-fil-A. I'm kidding. See, it's my personality. People don't know when I'm kidding and when I'm not, right? So I apologize for that. Tuesday we're going to Dream Kitchens. And then Wednesday we're going to Roots. See? So these are all people that are still operating. And so if we can help out you or your business, let us know. Just call my office at 978-534-7500, extension 0. But yeah, I was just kidding. So then it turned into, I don't know, a bunch of other stuff. And so finally I wrote, I was only kidding. I wasn't really going to go down and sleep in my car. And no, we don't have a Chick-fil-A. And I hope you get it now, right? I was just trying to be funny. Some people can get away with being funny, I guess. I can't. Anyway, yes, Keith, perfectly. I'm just not funny. Now, you, Keith, I find a lot of humor in the things that you post. I'm just wondering, Keith, how you're holding up during these days, huh? Now that everybody knows where you live, because once I figured out where you lived, I shared it with everyone. So, all right, here we go. From the governor's press conference, just in case you didn't have a chance to watch that. See, a lot of people watch this because you get it all. I think that's in the slide, so let me just fast forward another slide. News from the governor. Here we go. 200 respiratory masks will be delivered to fire and police through new distribution centers. And I'm happy to announce, and I think we announced this last night, Jim LeBlanc was able to push this information out last night. Can we get a bigger slide on that, guys? And so Leominster will be one of the very few distribution sites in the state to disperse 200,000 respiratory masks that are going to be delivered to fire and police. Now, others have asked, well, what about nursing homes, the hospital, all of that? And the answer to that is that the Department of Public Health is dealing with that. That's not to say that we won't assist in any way that's possible, but we are going to be getting a significant amount of those 200,000 respiratory masks that are going to be delivered. So that starts on Monday. They start bringing in, the National Guard will be here. They actually send staff members from MEMA. And so we're going to assist them in any way that we can. Pam, you asked me a question this morning. I forget what the question was. Pam Anderson asked me for a question this morning. I'm trying to think of what it was. I think I answered you, though, right? What's happening is on my Messenger, which is part of Facebook, I'm getting about 75 to 86 or 7 messages a day, which I don't mind. But occasionally, I think I get tied up and I say I'll go back to that. But by the time I go back to that one, there's another 20 in front of it, so I have to go back. I just want to make sure. I know you asked me a question. If I didn't get back to you, re-message me so that I see it as soon as I leave here. Additional funds for emergency shelters and foster families. Important, please answer the phone. We brought this up yesterday, so now that they're doing this tracking, so if somebody gets, somebody tests positive, they want to sort of draw the circle around that person and say where you've been and who you've come in contact with. They're going to contact those people. And this isn't some sort of a STD or something. They're calling you to help you out, right? So they're calling you to find out how you're doing. So if you're worried about that, and this is what I brought up to the state, I sent an email out this morning, and I sent it out, and I said, maybe leave the number and say, if you're uncomfortable about answering questions to us because you're not sure that we're legitimate, then we'll leave our phone number, and we'll call, and you can call us back. But they want to basically know who you came in contact with and make sure that you go get tested. So that's all it is. And so I guess people haven't really been cooperating to the level they thought. But on the other hand, somebody calls you and says, hey, you know, so-and-so, HIPAA laws, you can't say, well, so your buddy tested positive here. Therefore, or somebody you work with, and give their name. So you have to be general. So they call and say, hey, somebody at such and such said that they were in contact with you and they gave us your name. I don't know about you, but I get a little nervous. So ask for their phone number, right? And yeah, and they'll call, and you can call them back. Say, what's your phone number, and them call you back. Does that sound like a good idea back there? Yes? Were you watching the show today? What are you guys watching back there? Another show? Whose show? You can't tell me. They're watching somebody else's show back there. If I see you fall asleep, that's where I draw the line. But if you fall asleep and hit your head, now you're really in trouble. Okay, Ed Berman, sorry to hear about your mother there. That's what a beautiful lady she was. And I was sort of looking through the obituaries. It's so sad that we can't, I think embedded in us is that desire to pay our respects to the family, and especially those people along the way that touch you in your lifetime, that you really feel compelled when you see an obituary in the newspaper, and you really feel compelled. Like, I have to make sure whatever it is, change my schedule around, do what I had, cancel things, but I have to make sure that I get to either, you know, a wake or services at a funeral home, or sometimes, well, I say services because sometimes they just have services, final services at the funeral home. And do you guys have a charger back there that I can borrow? My phone I can't keep a charge on it. Even my battery backups are dead. Anyway, it's a difficult thing, especially if you want to go to the church or the wake or funeral, whatever it might be, and you can't. That's been difficult. That's probably one of the most difficult things for me is, in my job, I've been blessed and so lucky to have known so many people who don't even know how they touch your life and what they mean to you, and I know you send out a card, and sometimes you can send flowers, but sometimes it's just not the same for the family. And most of the time, the family actually understands that, you know, we couldn't have a funeral typical or a wake, but it's sometimes the person that wants to attend that feels the worst because they actually can't go because it means a lot for them to be able to share with their family what that person you know, meant to them. So that's been difficult. Look at you guys. You guys are so high tech. Look at this thing. This don't probably ever run out.
No.
Huh?
No, it takes a while.
So.
Fit with your case?
Yeah. Does it mean, because this went out, does it mean I'm not sharing anymore? Do I have to turn something on here? Anyway.
No.
Do you have one of these batteries? Backups are getting big. So it's on?
No, it should be.
See?
If it's fitting in your case. Make sure the port is all the way in.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good.
It should be charging.
Yeah.
You'll see an Apple logo in a few seconds.
All right, as soon as it comes out. Sorry about that. I've been trying to keep my batteries charged, and I've been trying to keep the battery backups charged, but I'm on honestly, I'm on the phone most of the day. It's pretty much how we're conversing. So anyway, I just wanted to say that, and I know Mrs. Bergman passed away, and I certainly would have been at those services along with so many other people. Just a real beautiful lady. And so anyway, answer the phone. If somebody calls you, answer the phone. We've got all these blocks. It's really important that they notify you and to sort of trace around you and track around where you've been to make sure you're okay and that maybe you get tested so that you don't end up with the symptoms that really turn sort of ugly, and so they can prevent some of that. Look at that thing. It charged up all the way. Thank you, guys. I will, as soon as I leave here, you guys tell me where this one came from. Is this a Best Buy kind of thing? Let's see. Okay, let me go to my Facebook page. Just because if I'm not on here, then I don't. Am I still sharing? Probably not. All right, let's start over. We go here, we go here, we go there, we go to back to there.
I'm sure you're still sharing. It goes through your account. It's not connected to the phone.
You sure? Oh, so it's sharing right now? All right, but see, I don't see the, let's see. I know, but I can't see the comments if I don't get back up. Bear with me, please. There we go. Thank you. Sorry, everybody. Cooties. That's right. Cooties Gate 2020. Okay, so we still are sharing. Thank you. So, Nikki, you are sharing this through the city's page. So, Nikki, post where people can find, like the same information I'm giving, we posting, and more information. So, because I can't like you, and if I start deleting people, then people get mad at me and they say, well, why'd you delete me? I'm like, well, I don't know. You haven't corresponded with me in years. And like, I know, but I was watching something, or I do pay attention. I don't respond. So then you make enemies, and they're mad at you, and they're like, you deleted me. I'm like, I didn't mean to delete you, but I haven't seen you pop up anywhere. So rather than get in trouble, this is the wrong time to get in trouble, go over to the city's page. There we go. City of Leominster, at City of Leominster, Mass, on our Facebook page. And all of the same information comes through. Okay. Let's see. This is new information. System to track hospital beds are now available. Right here, that's what we've been saying for weeks, right? Currently, there are 18,000 beds available for COVID patients, including 6,500 acute beds, 2,500 ICU beds, and 750 field beds. Can I go to that slide? And the reason this is important is because not every single bed is, okay, Wendy's giving me state numbers here. Okay. Not every single bed is in the same situation. In other words, what's important is the number that you see there that is acute, because it's the intensive care unit beds that they've really got to keep their eye on. There are plenty of beds, it looks like, if there's 18,000 beds, but how many are ICU, right? 2,500. Now, if those get filled up around the state, it doesn't take long to fill up. That's where the concern is, right? We don't want anybody in those ICU units. We want to be able to send everybody home or spend a couple days in the hospital. But here we go. We are at, so Leominster, here's the numbers. 55 current testing positive and 41 off for a total of 96. Yesterday, it was 54 current. So we've added one new current one since yesterday. But there's 37 that were off yesterday, and there's 41 now. So that's a good trend. So we went up one on current, but we went down from, yes, I see that. Thank you, Wendy. So we went down from that, from 37 yesterday to 41. So that's, 4 down on removal list. So that's, that's where we want to see it. Less, we want to see none added and more coming off, right? That's when they talk about the curve, that's what they mean. But total cases in Massachusetts, 34,402. That's up 2,221. The good part is they've identified those. They went in, they got tested, they identified them. The sooner they identify them, the better. Worcester County is up 262. Remember, out of whole Worcester County, we went up 1. Leominster went up 1. Worcester County went up to 2,765, and that is up, as I said, 262. Total tested in Massachusetts, now we're reaching that 150,000 point, 148,744. That's up 8,000. That's the most amount of tests that have been done since this started. Unfortunately, we're 159 deaths up, and that's up to 1,404. So that's tough. It's, we want to get to the time when there's none. And again, let's get everybody tested as fast as we can. And if you have symptoms, call the doctor, take your temperature. You're over 100, If you're over 100, you got that dry cough, shortness of breath, and you don't typically have that. That's new to you, it's getting worse. And loss or change of smell, or you've been around somebody that was confirmed. You add up some of those other things. Get up to the hospital, you don't need a doctor's note anymore. I don't think they charge you, right? So just get up there and this weekend you can go. So, but you got to have some of these symptoms. I wouldn't just show up because, you're worried, you had a scratchy throat and, you weren't feeling that great. So I'll read these numbers again before the end of the update here. Let's see. Skyview, PTO pages share almost everything by the city. Thank you, D. So Skyview PTO pages share everything that we put up. Thank you. I didn't know that. Appreciate it. Let's see. I missed a couple of things here. Nikki is sharing it. Time for a new phone. Yes, I know. I got to go through the process. But, every time I switch phones, I lose important information. So I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to stay current. Okay. Thank you. So let's go through afternoon boot camp. Oh, this is an important number. Family Health Line for nursing home patients. You can't get in to see your loved one, but you have the chance to call, and if you have any concerns, don't be shy. This stuff's very important. This is very, very, very important. Nursing homes, assisted living, whatever it might be, 617-660-5399. And they've assisted 1,100 people so far that have called. So don't be shy about that. Call. If you have a concern, it's best to call. Next slide is the statewide distribution of PPE by county. That's the information that's getting out there right now, all those ventilators and gloves, et cetera. But next week, Leominster will be one of the hubs for the state to receive the masks that we can disperse to public safety. So that's an honor for us. I mean, they feel strongly enough about our emergency management in our city that they would entrust with us, the big task of making sure that not only our police and fire and emergency folks get properly equipped, but county-wide. Transfer station is closed tomorrow. Apologize for that, but until they can get proper staffing on Saturdays, it's closed. Starburst is postponed till August. The Board of Health Recycling Day is May 16th. That's been postponed. Emergency management, boy, they're out there. They're delivering food to kids that can't get to one of our distribution points. They're doing 300 meals at 2 different distribution centers in Leominster. They're also delivering food. They're going to elderly. They're working with Ginny's. They have a great partnership with Ginny's. And Ginny's will be open 10 to 1 tomorrow. So all of that's going really well. Thank you. There's so many people to thank. If I get going, I'm going to get in trouble. We're keeping a list. We'll thank you at some point. But anyway, on the trails, clean up after Poochie. Nobody likes Poochie poo-poo, right? There's no no poop fairy in Leominster, so pick up your poop, right? Poochie looks good. You bring and spend $500 to get Poochie, a couple shots at the veterinarian, another couple $100 to get him groomed every couple weeks, right? Treat Poochie better than you treat, your ex. Well, pick up Poopy's. If Poopy's that important, pick up Poopy's poo, right? Because nobody else wants it to step on it or carry it around with them or anything else. So do me a favor, pick up Poochie's poo, okay? Let's go. Let's keep moving here. I get distracted easy. Do you notice back there my sideburns? Do you notice? Lauren, are you watching? Lauren Drew, I'm going to show my sideburns one more time. Just tell me if you think one's shorter than the other. Okay, ready? That side. And I'll just put a little finger on that side and then this side. So, isn't that off? Yeah, of course it is. Somebody said it wasn't, but it is. Emergency management, good question. What kind of help do they need? It varies by day. The best thing to do is call emergency management at 978-534-7500, extension 5055. Let them know that you'd like to volunteer. Let them know sort of the things that you'd like to do, because it's best that we sort of pair you up with sort of things and that that your skills are associated with and that you prefer to do. And then as we sort of get requests, now we're into this for another 5, 6, 7 weeks at least. And so we're going to need people, but it's always at different times of day or whatever. Just call and leave them your phone number, and they will be glad. Yeah, see, Lauren agrees with me. One's off, right? But anyway, yes, we'd be thrilled to have you. We could train you at dispatch. There's 20 different parts of emergency management, delivering the food. I don't even want to get into it. There's so many different pieces. And believe me, it's something for everybody. Nobody leaves there saying, boy, I couldn't find something that I needed to volunteer for that I couldn't help with. Did you really notice it? Why didn't you tell me if you noticed it so early? I don't know. Let's get to business here. Distracted. It's Friday night. Where are you eating tonight? Anybody eating anywhere? Getting takeout food tonight? Where are you eating? Any place special? You know, we've been promoting the takeout restaurants around town, and I've been hearing nothing but wonderful things. And we're trying to get to them all, but you know, it's taken some time. There's so many. Okay, where are we going now, guys? Oh, taxes. Taxes are due May 1st. If for some reason there's a financial blurb in your home and you know, there's a hiccup along the way, then wait, you've got up till June 1st, so no extra fees or fines. If you have other bills, like after March 10th, you get some sort of other bill from the city, excise tax or whatever, we're going to give you to June 30th with no taxes or fees or fines, right? We've also extended the application for real estate exemptions to June 1st. And please remind everybody that we still need money, so if you could pay May 1st or 2nd or 3rd or whatever, please do. And I know a lot of people like to come to City Hall. They get to come over and wave, and we get to talk and chat and whatever, right? Stay up on times. But in a situation like this, we're not able to open City Hall. So you can visit our website, which is right there, leominster-ma.gov, and pay online. And you know, if you didn't do it for the first, you've never done it, do it the first time, you will feel so proud of yourself. You'll be like, you know what? And we've got people that are like late 80s, right? 90 years old, getting online, paying their bills. So you can go upstairs to the top stairs at City Hall and leave a payment. Don't leave cash in the little mailbox that we have. Or you can mail it to 25 West Street, Leominster. We'll make sure we get that. How are nursing homes doing in town with infections? So far, it seems to be under control. And is mobile testing coming to Leominster? I think eventually it will. I haven't heard that it's coming anytime soon. Oh, yes. S&B's Lobster for grandson's birthday. Okay, that's where you're going. It's okay if you're out of town. That's all right. Hey, if there's somebody that's got an anniversary coming up or a birthday or special occasion, let me know. And when we have these sessions, we'll try to give a happy birthday out or whatever it might be. I know that our office is getting called more and more for these driving, roving birthday celebration things that go by the house. I go to as many as I can. Sometimes I just can't. There's one coming up on Sunday. I can't make it. I apologize. But let us know. And yeah, let us know, and we'll try to accommodate you in the best way that we can. Let's go to some more slides, guys. What do we got next? Burn permit. Burn, baby, burn. So, open burning of brush, cane, driftwood, and forestry debris, excluding grass, hay, leaves, and stumps, is permitted in the city of Leominster up until May 1st. So, I love to say the word, it's my new favorite word, atmospheric. So you have to have the right conditions, right? So it can't be 50-mile-an-hour winds and all of a sudden you want to like stop burning stuff and the whole neighborhood can smell it. Is it required? You need to call the fire department, call the non-emergency number. It shall be conducted on land proximate to your property. Don't be burning somebody else's property, right? For commercial, burning for commercial or industrial, institutional land clearing for non-agricultural purposes is not allowed, right? All open fires shall be located no less than 75 feet. If building a structure, you don't want to catch a building or your barn or something on fire. Accelerants, no. If you think this is like, who would do it? Believe me, this stuff happens. That wouldn't be up there if it didn't. You got to call for a permit. Let's see, 2 to 4, 10 to 4, no later than 4. So the fire's got to be out by 4, right? Is that right? And they won't grant any permit after 12. So what does that mean? Burning is permitted. Oh, burning is permitted between the hours of 10 to 4. But you need to get your permit before 12. And you have to be at least 18. And you have to do it without causing a nuisance. That's common sense. So if you think you're being like silly and you're trying to smoke out your neighbor and they call, then we're going to have to come down. And either you're going to put it out or we're going to put it out. So, and the fire department has the right to revoke at any time a burning permit. Okay, itchy again. I'm using my sleeve. Comcast. So we are doing so well. We raised over, and the total count's in my phone somewhere, I'll get it for you, over $25,000, so that these donors were very specific. They wanted to make sure that we got electronic devices into the hands of kids who never otherwise would ever have one. And so they could hook into the internet, which this is what we're trying to help families with right now. If you're not a customer of Comcast and have internet and you qualify, it's 2 months free, and then like $10 after that a month, unless you decide to get rid of the program. But we're trying to get these kids connected. We've raised over 25, it's probably like $26,000 or $27,000 to buy Chromebooks. And these donors were very specific. We don't want them lent to these students. We want them given to the students. So we've been 5 weeks, and we still have students that aren't connected to the internet and aren't connected with an electronic device in their house. Now, many of these families, they work in the service industry, maybe work in factories, probably don't make a whole lot of money, paying high rents, maybe registering, insuring the car, paying your co-payments, doing all those things. It's a luxury for them, and I run into people like this all of the time. Trust me, we screen the families before we give them out, and they really do get into the hands of kids that really need it. So, Comcast Essentials program is the name of the program. Share it if you can with others. Let them know about it. It's a great program. And if you have an electronic device and a laptop that's been sitting around for a while, and you got your secret recipes on there or something, I don't know. You got the combination to the bank downtown, and you don't want anybody to see it, or your safety deposit box, bring it down to Infinite Design. Kim and Russ will wipe out all that information. Nobody ever will see it again. And they'll reboot it and put new information on there. And then from there, the student will be able to use it. They'll be able to keep it. They connect themselves to the internet. And that is the gateway to the world today, right? So anyway, that's what we got to tell you there. What? No way. We've raised, drumroll, $34,000. $34,000. I thought it was $25,000. $34,000. And these are from donors who said, today, if you don't have that electronic device in the kid's home, you can't learn, because everything, 99% of what's coming at that kid is coming through them, through technology. And now is the time when the student's home, they get a chance to get on and really explore and really find their passion. Every kid's got a passion. And to be able to get on electronically and tie in, and there's nothing wrong with reading a book, believe me, nothing wrong with it, but the chance to get out and explore. I've heard more people who've found more helpful websites and things that they really would like to expand on. You only get an hour of science or whatever, but you go home, now a chance to really expand on that. So thank you, $34,000, and we're giving out several today. Imagine that, and they're all going to, believe me, we screen the families that come in, and we put them through a little bit, but you know what? It's for everybody's, because if we can't say they're getting into the hands, they're getting into the right hands, then we can't raise money. And just like the heating fund, you know, the money gets back to people that really need the help. And we sometimes ask tough questions, but we really screen the families and people to make sure it's going to the right place, right? And we haven't had one person complain to say, hey, that heating money isn't being distributed properly. So thank you. $34,000. That's amazing. So take that. Let's get to another slide if we have any. Then I'll do boot camp. Do we have any more slides? Grocery store guidance. They've got this whole thing figured out. 40% of the store. They can only let so many people in. They can only let so many people out. Anyway, that's a requirement from the governor. And people ask me what I think about the president's sort of lineup yesterday with his team, COVID team. I think it's pretty good. And it can't be perfect, and it'll change day by day, but I do think it's good. I think they outline the 3 sort of silos of, if you meet this criteria, you can move on to 2. If you meet this, but you have to meet it, then you move on to 3. And so there was all of that happening, and it's left up to the governors who know their states better to decide if you're going to open up county by county, or you're going to open up the whole state, whatever it is. The governors know their state. So I was happy he did that. But I did think, as I read that, and I just kept going over it yesterday and today, and as I do go through it, it's a very good starting point, subject to change. But It does lay out some real rigid requirements, and you can't move on to step 2 unless you get to step 3. I mean, you can't get to step 2 unless you get to step 1. You can't get to 3 unless you get to 2. So I think all of that is extremely helpful. Yes, Evelyn, that is amazing. So many kids will benefit from that program. Yep, absolutely. So good stuff. 34,000. Never dreamt it. And as I was saying, I got a call from one of my friends, and we're having this conversation, and he says, I hear him talking to his wife in the other room, and he says, no, you know what? I said, no. You guys can talk amongst yourselves. Call me back. No, we're going to send you a check for $10,000. And I said, no, are you serious? Almost drove up, right? $10,000? Yep. And so I went from St. Cecilia's, that's where I was, parked on 3rd Street, and I was at St. Cecilia's. And by the time I got to my office, because I left, I didn't even get up the stairs, and I get a text, and it says, and I'm leaving their names out, and it says, I just talked to my wife, and she just yelled at me because she didn't think we were given enough. And I said, she yelled at you. That's a lot of money. And he said, no, we're going to up it 5,000. Then, like 2 days later, a couple says, I just read the article in the newspaper, just heard about this. We saw that people have been really generous, and we like it, $10,000. I'm like, what? In fact, I was just starting my morning briefing when I got it, and I was like, oh, I didn't know if it was $1,000 or 100 or 10. It didn't matter. But I was looking. I was trying to do the show at the same time. And I said, I'm gonna mess this up. So let me wait and find out that I've got the correct information. I did. Isn't that amazing? $34,000. Listen, could be 10, 20 bucks, 50 bucks. It all adds up. Trust me. So thank you all. Okay, here's boot camp. Assume that everybody has the virus. Assume that you have the virus. Assume that all surfaces are somehow or another compromised. Soap and water, doesn't matter what kind of soap, soap and water, right? Soap and water, soap and water, soap and water, and more, I'm starting to see more and more available is hand sanitizer. So carry that with you, have it everywhere, put it in little vials, save those little plastic things that you get, little Tupperware, throw a little in there, keep it in your car, wherever you go, keep it with you. And if you could follow that, safe distancing, wear your mask when you're around other people, stay away from large crowds, never more than 9 people. If you can do that, then your chances are slim to get the virus. It's simple as that. This is a people giving people. We're giving it to each other. And I asked today, I was on the phone with my friends. He called me and another person that wanted to help out. And I said, Paul, have you realized, do you know anybody that's got a cold? And he said, you know, as a matter of fact, I don't. I asked the health department today. Marco came in my office. I said, Marco, you got a lot of young friends. Do you know anybody with a cold? And he said, you know, guys back there, you know anybody with a cold? Nobody. Nobody seems to have a cold, which is incredible. Why? Well, because these are all things we should have been doing right along, right? When you're sick, you don't go to work, you don't go to school, you don't go anywhere, right? You stay away from people. And you wash your hands, clean surfaces, on a hand sanitizer. That cootie thing comes out of the circular cootie thing at the drive-up window at the bank, credit union, comes out of the dispenser, right? You know that thing's loaded with cooties, but you got to open it. There's no way they got that cap on it, right? So you got to open it. So you got to keep the cootie protection stuff with you at all times. This is Cootie 2020, Cootie Gate 2020. So you got to keep it with you, and after you're done, give it a little wash, send the tube back up, and then give it a little wash. So I have seen people doing it. So maybe somebody will come up with a song that we could do like the Cootie Wash, right? The Cootie Gate 2020 Wash. And we'll put a sign behind it, and you can send in your videos of you lathering up. Surprised at how many men at Market Basket didn't have masks on. Well, I'll tell you, if you stay away from people, you don't need a mask. Just somebody's there in that aisle, and I'm not going there. I'm going to the next aisle over. But if you're going to be near people, then you need to mask up, right? Because this is a people giving people virus. Cooties, yes, cooties. Cooties, Gate 2020. I'm just trying to add a little fun to this. So we are Friday night. Take out food, whatever you can do to support local businesses. Thank you. They're going to need the help. Those checks are coming in. Have another conversation this afternoon at how fast businesses are getting their approvals. for the stimulus and how fast people got money deposited in their checking accounts. Isn't that amazing? I know you have to. I know that you're required to, pay your rent and all your bills. But if you can, the money was hopefully out there to help stimulate the economy, to spend a little money. And I know people might be like, hey, I got to pay my rent, right? I got to pay my, my mortgage. I got to pay my insurance, whatever it is to stay on my feet. But if there's any extra money left, even buying a sub or a sandwich from somewhere is helping to stimulate the economy. What do you mean have a cootie-free weekend? Yes, that's my plan. Have a cootie-free. Now, if you want to go visit one of our parks or whatever, so tomorrow could be like cootie protection because it might rain and snow and be ugly, so that might keep people in. But I suspect when we hit 60-something degrees, this beautiful day on Sunday, people want to get out. Yes, it's okay. We haven't asked everybody to stay home every minute of the day, but you should stay home as much as you can. But if you need to get out, just stay away from people. Stay away from people, and you're 95% of the way there. If you go to one of our parks, it looks really full, visit another park. We have 28 miles of trails. There should be no reason to run into anybody. This is a perfect opportunity that when you see somebody on a Saturday morning, and you know them, and you're maybe not looking so great, you got the baseball cap on, and maybe you got a little bit of spaghetti sauce left over from Pasta Land, or a little ravioli stain over here, and you'll be embarrassed if you run into them. This is like a perfect opportunity to beeline and just give them a little wave, and they'll understand. So it's not awkward to see anybody with a mask anymore. It used to seem strange before. It doesn't. It's not awkward anymore to see somebody sort of I'd see people cross the street. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of weird. Now I'm okay with it, right? Just keeping that personal distance, So. Yes, we have the best people. There is no place like home. There is something special about our city. And, I hear it so many times where people have moved here from other cities and towns, and they say, I've only been here 2 or 3 years, but I feel like it's my home. I feel like I've lived here all my life. And, it is a special place. It's why, it's why we call it what we do, right? Legendary Leominster. There's so many legends here who are qualified for the legendary status. Then there's us that think we're legends. And then there's those that are hopeful to be legends. So plenty of stories to share around. There'll be plenty of stories after this. Closing, get those leaves picked up. This weekend, it's supposed to be nice on Saturday. Get the family out there. And remember, whoever sends in the picture with the most amount of bagged leaves gets status around town. Get the T-shirt. We already got 4 prizes set up. We've got the Cloth Shop, Global Gym, Central Flag, and Leominster Harley Davidson. So if your company would like to make a donation, we're really going to build this up. At the end of May, we're finally going to crown, right? Social distance crown. We'll probably have a crane come out with the crown, and we'll just lower it onto the families' heads. And it could be, big time, right? Probably get calls from around the world to appear on TV and radio and everywhere else, right? I think we're done here tonight because this gets repeated, but I do want to thank you. Thank you for watching, and most importantly, thank you for being patient. I know this isn't easy for a lot of people. I'm like a caged animal inside anywhere for more than 10 minutes. So I understand what it's like, and so people have been so cooperative, but this is the only way we're going to get through it is if we follow the CDC guidelines. And I know at the beginning some people thought they were ridiculous, but if we follow those, we're already seeing the fact that our numbers are the lowest. And the only reason that's happening is because you're cooperating. If we cooperate, we get out of this faster, things open, we get back to some semblance of a normal life. But it can only happen. I can't do it for you. There's nothing I can do. I have my own cooties. If I keep my cooties to myself and you keep your cooties to yourself, then we're fine, right? We're cootie neutral. But if you're out there and you're sharing your cooties or somebody else is sharing their cooties, this thing's just going to keep going around. We'll have the boomerang effect. And while I'm trying to get some sunbathing in my new 2-piece bathing suit that I got in February, and I can't do it anymore because everything's closed down. I guess all hunkered down. It's 100 degrees. I don't like air conditioning, right? Just the whole thing's going on. This is something that every single one of us can have a part in some way. So keep your cooties to yourself. I want you to have a good weekend. Rake those leaves. Tomorrow's a good day to do something inside the house. I don't know, people already cleaned the junk drawer. I'm trying to think of some other things that people can do. inside the house after they've watched like every movie. They've done everything. All the puzzles are made. We were in week 5. Some people haven't left their house for 5 weeks. So think of other things that you can do. Maybe there's some things that you could do, get prepared for. You know what? Go to these gardening websites. I'll tell you all about what you should be doing. The Vicintia is still in play. So if you need to spray oil your apple trees, etc., get out there now, because once the Vicintia is gone, you shouldn't be adding that. Your pre-emergence, meaning your grass fertilizer / weed killer or weed preventer, that needs to get down soon. Cold weather plants could be planted in the ground, or at least those little hot beds, cold beds, whatever you want to call them. But anyway, you could start to plant your peas and things like that now, right? This weather is conducive to it. Yeah, all kinds of trees are blossoming. Oh, downtown. Now remember the blow-ups I showed you? Well, we've had windy days ever since. So DPW was nice enough to go out today, and put the blow-ups. They're downtown. They're going to be lit. Some of them might have blown over because every day it's windy, but we decided, let's just put them out. It's Greek Easter this Sunday. So we said, you know what? Before we become unfashionable and all of a sudden this stuff looks funny if it's out there, let's put it out. Some of it may roll over. It's lit up. If you want to drive by, it's lit up tonight. Don't get out of your car. Don't get near anybody, but it might be fun to get the family, get them into the car together, drive by, and the kids might like it. Wash the windows. Good idea. Good idea. Wash those windows. Okay. I'm out of spit. I'm starting to foam up here, guys. I don't have any water, and I forgot to get some on the way in. Okay. We're out of time here. Thank you to you guys back there, Brad, and everybody that comes in here every night to make sure this show is possible so we can share it with you, and they tape it and replay it back. Thank you to WLPZ. That's 95.1. and streaming at WLPZ.org. And I want to thank all the firefighters, police officers, EMA, emergency medical people, those people at home health care, caregivers, people at Health Alliance, and all our assisted living and nursing homes, and everybody that plays this daily part of keeping us all moving and healthy. Those people that work in supermarkets. And the supermarkets, as fast as they can outfit their staff, they will be. All of those people that provide food for us and everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Remember, be kind, be good, be patient. We'll see you all tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. So long.